Greetings, YouTube. We've been waiting a few weeks now to hear word back on something that was kind of thrown in as a last-second item at the very bottom of the patch notes of this month's newest patch for Marvel Contest of Champions, where they basically acknowledge that for some time now, I don't know if we really know how much time, we can kind of guesstimate, but it's kind of still just a rough estimate. Some very specific and at times very expensive boosts, especially if you're using loyalty, have not been working. And these boosts were supposed to increase the special attack damage for your champions based on class. And so there were several people, understandably, who were very upset, who were outraged by the fact that they had spent thousands and thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of their loyalty on boosts that were placebos, that you did them and you boosted them and you activated them and you thought in your head that they were working, but they were actually giving you no more damage than if you didn't use the boost at all. You were just essentially throwing loyalty out the window. And so finally, we have an update on this thanks to Adora, and I think if they can pull off what they're promising, it's about as good a compensation as you could hope for realistically. It amazes me that Kabam's servers have the ability to track purchases down to this degree. You would think with that kind of technology, you wouldn't have so many issues like the bugs that we've seen time and time again with Darkhawk this month. But when they want to, and when they use their staff and their resources wisely, and they throw them into a problem like this, it seems like they can just about reverse anything, which also, if they can do this, I still don't understand how they couldn't take away those rank up gems that were unfairly awarded to people who didn't have the OG champs and they could use them on anyone when variant difficulty came out, because their response was that it would be too much work essentially to do that. And I feel like that isn't nearly as much work as this would be. But let's read the response. Hey everybody. Hey everyone, thanks for your patience surrounding this issue. We wanted to provide another update. We've finished pulling all of the information surrounding those impacted by this boost issue, and we'll be sending out compensation soon. During this process, we took some time to test out all of the other boosts. We found one other boost that was not working as intended, the Special 3 defensive boost, which I don't know about you, but I have purchased several of these boosts as well, because when you're going on certain lanes, like the all or nothing lanes, you really want to purchase Special 3 defensive boost as to not get wrecked unless you have somebody like Iceman that has the ice armor. So yeah, I guess I also wasted some loyalty on those. As a result, we have now fixed this boost and will be compensating for this one at the same time as the others. This is a new list of players for us to pull, so it will delay things a bit. We're going to compensate for all impacted boosts at the same time. We will not only be providing any loyalty spent on these impacted boosts, we will also be providing crystals to any players that pulled these boosts from a crystal. With this extra compensation needed, we don't yet have a specific date to provide, but we will continue to update you. So I read this and interpret it to mean that you will get everything back loyalty-wise that you spent on these. So for those of you saying that you spent 200,000 plus loyalty on these essentially worthless boosts, Kabam has come out and promised that you will get all of that loyalty back, so essentially it's like you never spent it in the first place. I am very surprised, again, that they have the technology to see just how much this is, because you would think with that kind of, with great power comes great responsibility, Peter Parker like mantra, that you wouldn't have some of the issues. It also, I think, kind of a small bit to point out that when they say we have now fixed this boost because they tested everything, you think to yourself, hey, y'all, you probably should test these boosts from time to time on your own, right? Just to see if they're working as intended. I'm sure you're very busy creating new champions for new months and all that, but it just kind of surprises me that it's not until somebody points out in a video or in screenshots that the damage isn't increased that they think, oh, I guess now we should test those things. Like if I was running a company I would probably test all those in-game items maybe monthly from time to time, because you never know what the meta of the game is going to do to those in-game items every month, and we've seen just how bad lag can go or overheating can go from one month to the next. So you would think that in-game items still need to be tested. So maybe Kabam, hopefully, crossing my fingers, I know this is a long shot, has learned something from this in that they need to also test out their in-game items at least a few times a year and not wait until somebody reports an issue to confirm that it's an actual problem. So how do you feel if you're affected by this and you've got maybe hundreds of thousands of loyalty coming back? Are you satisfied, or are you still a little bitter? One of the things that you can't calculate from this kind of thing is if you, say, used that special 3 defensive boost that would have, if it worked correctly, not prevented you from dying, right? And let's say that you lost an Alliance War, worst case scenario, by 1 defensive kill. You aren't going to be able to calculate the rewards back of the shards that you missed by not winning that alliance, or if you have to use a potion or a revive because you have to get yourself back in the fight and you wouldn't have died before. Those costs are incalculable, and I think that's normally what I see understandably be the most fire, the most backlash for these kind of things is, yeah, you can give us the loyalty back, but the items we used to revive ourselves, and ultimately if it costs us an alliance war, that's just stuff that you can't ever get back. So I totally get that side of the argument as well. So either way, thanks for watching, and please let me know what you think on this newest compensation package to come at some unnamed date in Marvel Contest of Champions.